Hey guys, it's JP here, and today I'm going to have an episode of How Not to Be a Noob for BF4. And we're going to be covering the peaking mechanism, or the two different types of peaks. A lot of this information is going to be very similar, or much like, or almost exactly the same as BF3 in some manners, but there's also some things that they've changed from BF3 to BF4 that you guys got to keep in mind, that you may be getting frustrated with, because when I first started I was having trouble, and these are the things that I've found, and the research that I've done, and the play testing I've done with it, and how I effectively have started to be able to play better on infantry by using these tips like this. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the two different types of peaks, which is the slow peak and the long peak, or the long peak and the quick peak. The long peak is going to be used in a situation where you have to check off more than one spot. So, for example, let's say I approach this corner, throw my med bag down, and I want to check off all throughout this area. One of the mistakes I see a lot of people make is this number. Is to do something like this, because what they're doing is, if they focus here, they might get a kill or two, but then they're going to get popped from here, or they're going to get overwhelmed from here. Now, or they'll do this, and vice versa, they'll get killed from there. So, what you should do, is if you have more than one angle to cut off, you almost want to use the cross angle from the long peak. So you want to use, like, let's say we have cover here, expose yourself here, check off, get some kills, make sure it's clear, and you want to kind of do this number, and you want to slowly ease yourself around until the spot you want to check off. And then if you're starting to get shot or something, just fall back right here into your cover and throw your med bag down. And you can, that's the pretty easy basic thing to do if you have multiple spots to check off. Now what you want to do if you have a quick peek is, if you have one spot, or one small spot, or one area that you want to check off, that you're going to use this in a lot of cases, because you're going to use this when there's a spot where you know an enemy's coming, you see them on the mini-map, you have teammates all around you, and there's only one way that they could be coming from. So let's say the enemies are coming from down there, and I want to peek this corner. Big mistake I see a lot of people do, and I'm even guilty of it myself, is coming around a corner and doing this. Which, you may think, okay, well, I peeked the corner, I'm doing everything good, I got teammates here, I'm only exposing myself to this one angle, I'm pretty safe, right? Well, what you're doing, and you're not even realizing it, is you're completely unexposed. You're completely exposed, I should say. And you're not in cover at all. You're basically just standing out in the open. So what you should do is you should barely expose just a little bit of yourself. You can actually use the in-game peeking mechanism if you want. It's kind of a personal preference. I usually don't, for the simple reason that I'll explain in a minute. But you can use this method where you're barely exposing yourself. Because if you do one of these, which you can cover this whole area that they're coming from, let's say. And look, you shouldn't be able to walk forward without hitting that wall. So they're only seeing half of your gun. They're only seeing your gun and your shoulder. So you're only getting to be shot in half your body, because your other half's behind this wall. So you want to try to expose as little of yourself as you can when you approach a corner. They want it to become as a surprise. You just go here, pop, kill them, and you're done. And you hide back. You want it to hit them out of nowhere. So the reason I don't use this mechanism, the in-game peeking mechanism, because what this does, especially on cover of this type, if they know you're here, if you peek and you're like, oh crap, I gotta heal, and you do one of these, they can fire an M320 grenade or something like that, and if they fire, if it hits the side of this, or if it hits right here, or anything like that, it's gonna be doing quite a bit of damage to you, because you're basically standing on the explosion. Okay? Now, if you take a step back from the corner, what you're doing is you're actually eliminating their ability to shoot right at your feet with the M320. So, like, if you're here, they gotta land a perfect shot to knock you off this position. There's a dude with an M320 there. He's literally has to hit right here in the dirt, and if it hits here, the blast radius is only going to come back a little bit, and you're barely going to get hurt instead of being right on it. Because if you're right here, he's just going to aim for this side of this wall or anywhere in this dirt. If you're back here, he's got to make a pro shot right at your, literally right on your feet with the round. And then that'll probably kill you, but the odds of that happening are slim to none, so you're increasing your chances of surviving. And then the last thing that I want to talk about when you peek a corner is improving your accuracy. You never want to peek a corner. You can do, I like to talk about like strafing a corner, like this when you peek it. If you don't see anybody right away, if you're waiting for somebody to peek a specific spot, you can just sit here and strafe. Just spam A and D. So if someone does shoot from a different angle or they wipe out your teammates or an unexpected thing, you have a small chance of some of those bullets missing. So you just sit here and strafe, and as soon as you see them, you stand still and you fire. You light them up. Then the last thing that I want to talk about is how to, another way to improve your accuracy when you peek a corner. Not only standing still greatly improves it instead of strafing side to side, because the only time you're ever really going to want to strafe side to side and shoot is if a dude's right in front of you and you're trying to do dance moves and get into a hip fire duel with them. But other than that, you're going to want to peek this corner. What I see a lot of mistake that people make, and this is okay in BF3, is you could come right here and literally this, as you're peeking the corner, you're going ADS, which is okay in BF3. But in BF4, what it's going to do is it's going to give you an accuracy penalty if you start firing right away. Because if you ADS and immediately start firing, it actually gives you a slight accuracy penalty, which is going to increase your bullet deviation. Now, if you want to increase your accuracy, what you're going to want to do in BF4 is you want to start ADSing slightly before you expose yourself in the corner. So right here, I'm almost exposed to where my spot is, and then I just want to do that. And then I'm going to have that penalty. So I just sit here, strafe, and as soon as I see somebody, stop and shoot. And that'll increase your guys' accuracy, and that'll help you guys peek corners in BF4. I hope that helped you guys. I hope you learned something. You can go out and try these techniques. I know they've worked for me, and I use them all the time. So please click that like and subscribe tab, and I will talk to you guys later. This is JP, out.